I thought, you know what, let me just record a video doing this, just to create one of my own thoughts regarding the Arsenal title race. Maybe I want to watch this back in the future, but I thought I'll upload on this second channel if anyone is ever interested. I'm in this, so no camera, just gonna be playing some COD, just casually, just giving you my thoughts, unbiased, unedited, raw as it is. So Arsenal versus United, it was a good game. I think United played very well. I think at the end of the day, my heart says we deserved the win, but I think we got very lucky. Bad defending, Wan-Bissaka should have realistically defended that first goal a bit better than Nketiah header for us. That Rashford goal was terrific when it was 1-0, and I'll be honest, for the first half, they really put us at bay. My friends that were with me, that went to the game as well, I went there as well, and they told me after the game that we kept them at bay. I honestly thought that United had the lion's share of possession for like the first 20 minutes or so, and it was quite difficult to basically break them down. I really feel like we didn't have that much options. I think also when we went forward, we just struggled quite a lot, and I think that's something that I expected it to be a much easier game. There was no Casemiro, but they held their own. And then realistically, the header, the Ramsey one from a goalkeeper, okay, it was a mistake. It is what it is. And we played well in the end, 2-2. Again, that second goal was fantastic. Hit the post after. And then, of course, the third goal, which was a lucky goal in Nketiah. To be honest, we were really dominating in the final latter end of 30 minutes. But I think United played exceptionally well. I mean, when they brought Fred on for Anthony, I really felt like they were trying to just settle for the draw and play for the counter-attack. That seems to be the way to go. I would have probably done the same thing as Erik ten Hag as well. I looked at when they beat us at when we lost at Old Trafford, the only game we lost this season. To be honest, I think they got a bit lucky. I agree with Arteta that it was the right choice. It was just a lapse of concentration that really cost us the goal at the end of the day. So fair play to United. They're not as weak as I thought they would look. They played very well, structured, defended very well. They were organised. They were in a good structure. And then just a bit of luck towards the end to get the win. So that was just my take on it. I think obviously now, we're coming close now. The next game is a City game, which I'll go over towards the end. But realistically, I think we played well. I think we deserved the win in the grand scheme of things. It was closer than you think. I mean, we look at 25 shots, but as I say in FIFA, if you shoot from outside the box 25 times, does that mean you deserve the score? Not really. It's all about those shots on target, which is the key. So that is the real way that I like to look at it anyway. But yeah, so that's the thoughts. Trossard played very well. The good thing about someone like Trossard is he has that Premier League experience. He came in the left wing. Someone like, I think if Nketiah gets injured, he could probably play there temporarily. The only thing that I worry about now is injuries. I think for a real title, I kind of agree with Gary Neville. I don't think Gary Neville's a hater. I think maybe low-key he is, but I think he makes some really good arguments. City last year was so consistent in the latter end of the season. They can catch up. And you see, this is the thing. If Martinelli or Saka get injured, we're in serious trouble. Saka played very well. Ben White went off, yellow card. Tomiyasu came in, bit shaky. Didn't overlap all the time properly, in my opinion. But the underlaps from Odegaard did cover for that, and Tomiyasu. So the right-hand side was very good. Martinelli was by himself on the left. I feel like he only had Xhaka really, because Zinchenko kind of plays that centre mid role and kind of just free roams into creating chances. So I did feel that there was a lot of isolation from Martinelli. So I think he did a really good job. Considering it was a 1v2, if it was a 2v1 like it was on the Saka side, or a 2v2, then it would have been a better situation. But most of the time, I think Martinelli did a good chance. Trossard played well, but I think, as I said, if any of those players get injured, we're in trouble. The thing I don't like about Nketiah, to be completely candid, is I don't think... Originally, I said he wasn't ready to play, and I'm being proven wrong, and I'm happy that he's proven me wrong. That's exactly what I see, the mentality. Everyone had doubts about him, but I still have my doubts. He's no Gabriel Jesus. He doesn't have the creativity as Jesus, and I worry about these key moments inside the pitch. I worry about, for example, okay, the header he scored was good, but Wan-Bissaka should have saved that. Let's be realistic. The goal that he scored towards the end was a poacher's goal. I like that, but it was one of those ones. I look really at the situations, for example, when we were against Tottenham and when we could have closed the game out, and Nketiah had multiple chances that game. Some of them were half chances. He had one where he could have volleyed it with his left foot and failed to miss the target. And then there was the one towards latter end when I think Odegaard played him through. He took a terrible touch, and unfortunately, we had a lot of time available, and he missed that chance. Now, when you're going for top four, that's acceptable. But when you're going for the league, you can't miss those chances just how it as he did. So that is why I'm very doubtful about him, and it was proven right today. You know, when we were 2-2, he had a chance right in front of De Gea. Now he hit at De Gea. This is the thing, if you're going to hit at the goalkeeper, you have to aim down and a lot of power. He did neither. It was kind of like a fluffed shot towards the goalkeeper. At least aim for a corner there. He should have scored that. And this is the thing I'm trying to say. If it wasn't for the United's mistakes, I mean, also Partey was a bit shaky in some situations, made some mistakes. But realistically speaking, we have to be very, very careful when we're going for the league. I don't like to be pessimistic, but I think Nketiah gets the job done for now. But I think when we lose Martinelli and we lose Saka, mark my words, we are going to struggle with just Nketiah. Because Nketiah is no Jesus. He can't drift wide and take a player on 1v1. We can't deploy him that way. That's the problem. And he's not really a striker to take someone on one-on-one. He can press, and he presses very well, and he has a lot of pressure. But I think that is definitely the big problems with someone like Nketiah. He can't win the game for us. And we don't have Saka, we don't have Martinelli. We're probably going to be in trouble. But Trossard played well. I liked him. He had some really good style play. He had some really, really good moments on the ball and off the ball as well, to be honest. So I think, just go for a quick thing here. I think he played pretty well when he did come on. But yeah, that is pretty much the game. I think we played well in the end. I think it could have gone any side. I think United played better than we give them credit for. I don't think it was an open game. You look at 25 by the same FIFA, you can shoot from the halfway line 25 times. Does that mean you deserve to score? Not really. I don't really look at XG too much as well. Although we did have some really good chances as well. The Rashford goal in particular being very good. I mean, yeah, they end up playing that counter-attack style of football. You know, when they brought Weghorst, when he was a striker, Rashford was deployed to as a winger. They were playing for the counter, and it could have gone the other way, to be honest. If we lost the ball or we didn't play as well in certain key areas, we could have honestly lost the ball and we could have been seriously in trouble. So I'm not gonna say it was as easy as people make it out to be. Now, in terms of the title challenges, as my stance right now, I've got the same. I'm not really took a biased opinion. My heart tells me we can do it. My head tells me it's too early. We're not that. We can go 8 points clear if we win the game in hand. We're playing City next in the FA Cup, which will go on to what we should do for that game. But if Bernardo Silva or Mahrez gets injured, they can bring on someone like Jack Grealish. That's the difference. We haven't got the substitutes and the caliber. You could even see yesterday against United. When we were down, we really struggled inside the game. There's no one on the bench you can really turn to. I mean, we brought Trossard on for to be honest, we brought for Martinelli, or even if we brought him on for Saka, I wouldn't have taken off because he's just playing so well. Probably one of the best wingers in the Premier League, if not the best right now, to be honest. The way he's playing, how in form he is. But, it's not the same. And I think Mudryk would have really been a good addition. I'll be honest, I watched him against in Chelsea when he came on. And to be completely candid, he looked very, very good. I won't even lie. He looked exceptionally good. I was hoping he wouldn't have been that good. But the good thing is we brought Trossard Premier League experience. And I said that when we brought Zinchenko and we brought Jesus, I thought they were fantastic signings. Everyone was a bit doubtful, especially with Jesus. But I knew that's exactly what we're looking for. Press from the front, people that work hard. So it was the right thing to do. But I just say now, if they get injured, we're in serious trouble. So I think it's too early. I think if we can beat City, I think we've got the league. I think from that perspective, I think if we don't beat City and we draw, as long as we don't lose, I think if it like last year, last year top four, we got players injured. And I look now, like if Partey gets injured, who are we going to replace him with? Declan Rice we're linked to. Right now, they're not going to let Declan Rice go. Not at this stage anyway, especially when they need him right this badly, right, West Ham. So, I mean, realistically speaking now, we need a CDM. If Partey gets injured, it's all over. El Neni, I believe, is out for some time. He can't really play the same role that Partey does play. So, there's going to be problems. Last year, we knew how weak we were without Partey. The stats are day and night. So, I mean, what we're going to go back to, like a 5-2-3, or 5-3-2. We used to have Ceballos in the middle. Sometimes with Xhaka. So I don't know about that, but I think that's the issue. If we don't have injuries and everyone stays fit and Jesus comes back, I think we'll be fine. But if Saka might only get injured, that's why in Europa League we just got to let Trossard. That's why Trossard was a good signing. Let Trossard play. I kind of wish we kept Pepe. I agree that he's just lost. He's just done. But, you know, Pepe, where he really excelled was realistically was in the Europa League games. And I don't want Saka and Martinelli be playing for realistically full 90 minutes in these games. Realistically, we need someone like Pepe just to play those minutes. So that is the way that I look at it. We should have maybe kept Pepe, given them a couple of months or so, and then maybe if he didn't work out, we could always loan him out in January because we're just paying for a loan fee. I think that's one mistake we made. I don't think he's an amazing player, but I think he can definitely put some damage on when you bring him on. He can definitely take a player on or two. So it doesn't work that hard, but I think for attacking wise, I think he'll be a good job. So yeah, that's what I say for the title. We got to beat City, or we got to draw against them at the minimum. We can't lose. If we lose, we're in trouble. I think Gary Neville was right. City have the winning mentality. They've done it year in, year out. We haven't done that. We haven't got to a stage where, like, this United game showed proof where, like, you know, when it's a draw, we can pull things out of the bag, kind of the old Ferguson days. You can just pull it out of the bag last minute. But I think City really do have that ability. They're a bit all over the place now. You know, you have Cancelo playing right mid one day he's a sub. Next day he's playing in the centre. Then he's playing as a winger. Like, honestly, he's playing all over the place. I think once they find their form, I think they'll be fine. So I think maybe they're a bit rusty now, but they will definitely find their form. So that's what I think I'll come back to this podcast and I'll say it's going to be a tight race. If we have no injuries, I think we're fine. As long as we beat City. This City game now, the new one, the most recent one now, which is coming close to us, it's 23rd today, so it's only, I think, 27th, playing City next week at FA Cup. I think City need to win something, okay? I think Guardiola very astutely says he's not in a title race, putting pressure off his players. I think that's a smart thing to do. Of course he's in a title race. He's the only team that can win it. United, I think, are out now. I think that it's not that they're too far away. I just don't think they have the ability to do it, personally speaking. If they were in a head position, maybe. But you never know, to be completely candid. They've had a really good run of form, but the games they played, they were pretty fortunate. Whereas now we have a pretty good run of games. We've got a lot of home games as well, up until the end of April. So yes, I think the City game, you know, that game, I think, you know what, we just I don't mind losing that game. You know, using that as kind of like I'm not going to say like a play around, but just test some tactics out. And if we lose it, you just say it is what it is. That's the way I want to look at the game, to be completely candid. I don't really mind if we don't win, but I just want to make sure that we just guarantee that, you know what, we're in such a good position, and we don't have to stress out about, like, okay, you know what, because that Premier League game is more important. So I think, you know what, if Arteta has tactics to try out, doing the FA Cup, it's still probably the most important cup, in my opinion, after the Premier League. Of course, apart from Champions League, as well, of course, but it's the oldest club. And it's the one with all the teams. I don't care about League Cup anyway. I've got no interest in that, so I don't care that way. So even if we stayed in like the semi-finals or the finals, I wouldn't really care as long as we played youngsters throughout that. So that's what I would say in terms of that. I say let Arteta try his tactics out. Just kind of play what he thinks, and I think let's see if we get it away, because I think that's the key. We're not really playing that game at home. And then when we have that game against City, I believe, we double check the date. I think it's the 15th or 14th of February. Let me double check this actually. Yeah, so it's 15th of February. So we play them just after Brentford. 4 days. And I think Brentford, to be honest, I won't lie, they are doing pretty well in the league. So that's going to be a tough game as well. So Everton, it should be, now Lampard's gone, it should be hopefully an easy run. But that 4 days rest, I think it's going to be very interesting in regards to that. But let's just see when that time really comes out. But yeah, I think just test some tactics out, see what he's got to play. And then as long as we don't win, as long as we don't lose, I don't care about FA Cup too much, but as long as we don't lose against that game against City, I think we're fine. And then the rest of the games, we're pretty much good to go. So I think Everton should be a win. Brentford, we should realistically be winning that. But that City game is the main one. But that's just my thoughts on the thing so far. I still think we need to solidify. Even if we can get a lone CDM, I look back at last year how we bottled top four from a guaranteed position. I don't care about the last 3 games, and then yeah, we should not have lost to Tottenham. Like all we had to do is just not lose. Okay, we messed it up. Okay, fine, it is what it is. And then yeah, people don't expect us to beat Chelsea and everything else, but we lost 3 games before that. That's where we should have guaranteed the league anyway. So I don't look at the Newcastle game as where we bottled it. We bottled it much early on from a guaranteed position. So I look at that. Although we got different reinforcements, it's a different situation. So that's why I agree with Gary Neville. But let's see what happens. City anyway, they're gonna be showing up, and of course this is gonna be their one to win. Thankfully, it's at home. I think that's the most important thing. I think if any of you guys have been to the Emirates Stadium, I was lucky this year to get a season ticket. I took a bit of a risk last year. I waited for 20 years to get a season ticket, to be honest. The wait was too long, and I was like, I'm not getting any younger any soon. So I paid a bit extra and paid. And then we got Europa League. I thought we were going to get Champions League, so I thought we were back in it. And then we got Europa League, and I was like, man, this is not good. And I paid the deposit now. But I said, you know what, I'm just going to go with it. It was a bit cheaper because you got Europa League. And I could, if I needed to, I could have sold my tickets to make up for the price. So, I've been pretty lucky that the year that I got a season ticket, we might potentially win the league. But that's what I'll say from that point. I mean, I don't think anyone else can catch us now, realistically, apart from City. I'm just looking at the league now again on another screen. I'm actually playing this live, actually, in case you're wondering. But yeah, so right now we've got 50 points a game in hand. City got 45. Again, that's only 2. We draw a game. We draw 2 games. It's a different situation. We're banking on, realistically, City here to just mess up. That's the thing. And to be honest, Tottenham... mate, I'll talk about this a bit longer now. Tottenham, I cannot believe that. I'm sure they lost that game deliberately. I think in that position, City have only come back, I think, 1 game. And I saw when we played them, I was like, you know what? I mean, so when Tottenham played them, I was like, you know what? 1-0. I remember I was like, this is good. They're going to draw at the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, they lose. I said they're not going to win. When it was 2-0 before half time, I was like, this is perfect. Conte can just lock up shop. Literally going into the game, 2-0 down at half time. It's a dream, right? Honestly, I was like, I know it was at City's ground, Etihad. I know they've done some madness there, but that's just what I remembered. And I can't believe they bottled it, honestly. I think they genuinely lost deliberately. I mean, United did us a favour, to be honest. That game, they got... Even though United game, to be honest, they got lucky. They probably should have won that. I mean... Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, they're playing Aston Villa, and that's an easy win. They got us. Then they're playing Nottingham Forest, easy win. Then they got Champions League. And then the 4th of March, they got Newcastle, which is the real one. Then the 1st of April, they got Liverpool. And then we play them again on the 26th of April, which I think will be the title decider. And they finish off with Chelsea and Brentford. So hopefully Chelsea can come in clutch then. But that is far away, I think we can't rely on other teams now. We'd have to make sure we play it forward. But anyway, that's just my thoughts on the game, on the situation. Let's see, fingers crossed after this FA Cup game, I might make another one of these. But I'm making this series just so, if we do win the league, and kind of just watch back, kind of see what my thoughts were and how I thought throughout the season, and just see what I said, what came to fruition, and other predictions that maybe were just completely obscene. But let's just have a look anyway, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your thoughts are as well down below. Thanks for watching or listening, and of course, I'll catch you back next time.